Well, we got a chance to dispel any myths or rumors about the Flyzone Cessna 182 Skylane. Skylane. Got to add that.
Yep.
We got a chance to fly it, and Kurt and I were both impressed with what.
And what are these rumors?
Well, the rumor that I heard was a power issue.
Yeah, a little underpowered.
A little underpowered.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have never seen the first run of these planes. We never had a chance to fly it.
We never tried the previous one.
I can tell you, without getting involved or getting too far into a jumping ahead, that's not a problem with this plane.
I experienced nothing of the sort. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and jump into the 5x5.
Let's do it.
Review and
before all the conspiracy theorists start
exactly.
wondering what we're talking about. All right, model characteristics. We'll start out with build as advertised. We gave it a 5 out of 5. Now, this was an RTF plane. We did have to put some things on it. You know, we've talked about this before, and I don't want to dwell on it too much. Ready to fly with Flyzone Select Scale, you still have several pieces you've got to put on.
Yeah, you have a few. Yeah. It's less than an ARF, but
it's less than an ARF, but it's not a true. I mean, when you think of ready to fly, well, all you have to do is charge a battery and fly it. No, you still have a little bit of work to do on these.
Yeah, you got a couple things. Yep, you have a few things to do. Nothing too major. It goes together quickly.
But it went together good. Everything we didn't have any issues with any aspect of this plane, so we gave it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, no misalignments, no misfittings. It literally went together.
It did
exactly as instruction said. So.
Yep. Finish 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's a good looking plane. I
For
think.
being a foam plane, it's extremely scale. I think it really is. It
has some really nice scale features with the lighting, the navigation lighting,
this right here alone. You know,
working oleo strut in the front.
I think that's important.
And the antennas up top.
Well, those antennas, I didn't get very good reception with those, but that front wheel, it took the bounce out pretty good. Power, we gave it a 4 out of 5. Going back to what we said earlier,
I flew it in. We were flying today in 3 gusting to 5-mile-an-hour winds, which is that's on the higher end for a park flyer this size.
Sure.
And it's gonna require a little higher skill to fly it that way. It didn't have any problems with power whatsoever. What I did find myself doing though was immediately switching into high rates. As soon as I took off and started flying, I felt, wow, this thing's a little bit mushy on me. I'm so used to flying always in high rates and putting expos in. Our radio didn't have those capabilities.
Well, being in the wind, you're going to get some mushiness anyhow. Had we been in dead calm weather, it may have been
absolutely
different.
Yeah, and not as a detriment to the plane, it was more the rates.
Yeah,
as soon as I switched to high rates, my control responses came right back to me, and it was very comfortable to fly. Very comfortable to fly.
Yeah.
As far as the power goes, it was more than ample for what we were doing. I had no problem with my downwind legs turning back into the wind heavy, and muscling through that and keeping a nice straight line through.
Well, you've got to also compare power plants to what you're flying. You're flying a Cessna 182. This is not an aerobatic plane. You're not going to have unlimited climb
but I'll
out.
tell you what, there's a lot of power. It's plenty of guts for what you're doing. So I mean, at no point did I feel like this model was just powered. It was powered just enough, or was by any means underpowered. It was definitely on the ample power side of things. So we, like I said, we didn't mess with the earlier version. I don't know if they changed something up, but I can tell you, for this version, the current version that's out, the RTF, it's got a lot of juice.
Well, I don't feel we have to justify that.
I don't think. Well, go ahead.
Let's go to ground handling. 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, nose wheel was it's like driving a little car around.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And when you've got heavy crosswinds you're deling with, the only way to do it is with a nose wheel. Tail wheels just don't have any authority at all. So it's great. It's perfect in the crosswinds.
Durability 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, we really didn't have to test it per se. We didn't have any issues with it at all. But just from throwing it around, transporting it, and it gets banged up a little bit. They all do as we go through our whole hauling it to here and then doing a review over there. So there's usually a couple hours of commute involved in every plane's lifespan with us anyway. It's a very nice, it's a well-built little model. So.
Pilot experience, we'll start with flight as advertised. You gave it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, it was very good. I mean, with the flaps, and to me, the big plus with this plane is the flaps.
Sure.
If you didn't have flaps on it, it would fly well either way.
Just come in a little hotter.
Yeah, but man, put those flaps on and you can have a blast with it.
Yeah.
Just drop those things down and come in nice. Now, you get a little bit of ballooning when you do drop the flaps, which is typical of the Cessna. It does want to pop up on you a little bit. So if you're, if you want to use a computer radio or something, you could dial in some mixes to be able to take that out, but it wasn't so noticeable to the point where it was uncomfortable when I was making my downwind turn and I was down in some more flaps and stuff. It wasn't like it felt like it was on edge or wanting to fall off the top.
Yeah.
So it was fine. It was good. I think they translated well on this model, and it definitely takes it that one notch further for a more enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
And today in the wind we had, drop the flaps down and just ride right in that ground effect and set her down.
You had some uncharacteristically good landings today.
I did. I don't know.
You know, I mean,
sometimes you're on. Sometimes
everybody's
you're like
got
off.
their thing. Usually for me, you know, I may be horrible at everything else. Not horrible,
But you can grease those landings.
I can grease landings. When I'm on, and I'm usually on more than you are. Today, you were on with those landings.
Yeah, they were.
So we really didn't get to test the most unique
oleo
feature. All right, moving on. Come on,
Yeah.
you're taking way too long. You're
right,
talking
sorry.
too much. Flight time. We'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. We got comfortably 8 minutes. We probably could have stretched it out a lot longer than that.
If it wasn't as windy.
Yeah.
And, well,
Yeah.
like in the same time though, if we'd got up there and played with the wind, we could have stretched that even further.
Yeah.
This power plant with an 1800 milliamp battery, which is it's 1800 milliamp.
Yeah.
It's the best you'll ever get out of that combination, I think, for the most part. Basically, it's very much on par and at the high
It seems
end.
to be a popular battery with this line also.
Yeah, it
We've
is.
noticed that the efficiency just seems,
Yep,
whatever
it's a
that
good match.
Outrunner is, it's well matched.
The
Definitely.
mystery outrunner.
The mystery Outrunner. That's like those decals. I got to find out what that is.
Yeah.
All right, field size. I'd say at least a park or flying field. Like any plane this size, give yourself some room. Don't try to fly it in a shoebox. You're not going to enjoy the flight. You're going to be fighting things that aren't there.
Yeah. Shoebox? That's small. I've got a micro that'll fly in a shoebox.
Metaphorically
Okay,
speaking.
metaphorically. Yeah, like a parking lot or something. People
Yeah.
think, oh, this is great. I can go fly in my parking lot at the school. Or no.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Not only does it give us all a bad reputation in the sport, it's a good way to crack your plane into a million pieces or damage a car or hurt somebody in the process. So it's, take it to a place that allows park flyers. It's very much a park flyer.
It is.
From a speed perspective and size. So
fits the bill nicely.
It does.
Portability, 4 out of 5. This isn't a real big plane.
Nope, it isn't. You've got some scale details that may decide to break if you get a little too careless with it. So, but it's pretty tough.
Skill level, we've got it marked as an intermediate. Kurt, you can explain.
Has flaps. Has flaps, and it's a Cessna. Everybody thinks, I trained in a real Cessna. In a Cessna 142s, and we have 172s. And while they're a good platform for a beginner pilot, Cessnas aren't always the best platform for a beginner RC pilot, in that they don't have the most generous wing area. They have a lot of good tendencies, but there are better trainers out there.
Yeah.
A Cub, very lofty, very slow, very forgiving on the approach and stuff. So, and then throw the flaps in, and a pretty powerful motor. It's definitely a higher than a beginner plane, and I'd say intermediate with the flaps. Flaps can kind of throw you off. They definitely change your stall characteristics, and while they're a huge benefit, they can also be a significant detriment if you don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
And forget them down, and you're trying to make a turn, and you stall out. So, just more going on, more things to remember on the radio. So it takes it more to that intermediate.
At least you
level.
got to train in a real plane. I trained on those rocket things that hung off of chains at Geauga Lake with a button that went. Remember those?
I didn't have a horn.
Well, yeah, I did. But skill level, we already went over intermediate, so we're good with that.
That wraps up our review of the Cessna Skylane 182 from Flyzone. This is the RTF kit that's out now. And again, if you're concerned, plenty of power. You won't have a problem at all there. You can see their full review at tobefly.com. And for our mobile users, you can go to rcflightsource.com. I almost forgot for a second. What is that called? rcflightsource.com. You can download the mobile app and take everything on the go with you, including some exclusive content like our field locator and our parts locator. I'm Kurt with Two Brothers Hobby.
And I'm Rob. Thanks for watching.